Good morning, welcome back to my channel. My name is Krispy Dreemz, and I'm doing another vlog type video today because it's been, I think, like 6 months since I did my last. And it's nice to, catch myself up back to speed, fill me in with where I have been these past few months. Most recently, I just got back from the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors. I finished the painting workshop with Randall Roberts and Morgan Mandala, and I had like an amazing time. It's weird. I didn't necessarily experience anything that I wasn't expecting to experience. Everything was very welcoming and open and loving and peaceful and serene, and the whole place is basically like a sanctuary for artists, if I could call it that. Prior to me being there, they had just finished a three-day painting class called Art as Prayer, and I think I would very much like to do a class like that in the future. I would like to do a long-term painting exercise or painting workshop. I guess Alex Gray and Allison Gray host workshops there, host several day workshops there a couple of times throughout the year, so I'll have to check on them because that was recommended to me by Randall and Morgan. At the workshop that I attended, I painted two different eyes. I painted my eye, and then I painted Rachel's eye. And they both turned out very, very well. I enjoy using the glazing. They taught us about glazing and how to create layers. It was brilliant. So what else has been going on? Like I said, it's been a while. How about we talk about this painting here? So this is a painting that I created for my, I don't know, I don't feel right calling it my ex-boss because it carries with it negative connotations. But I would say that this guy's like more of a buddy now than he is an old boss. I worked for him for only 2 months. This is actually the guy that I worked for earlier this year, doing commercial and residential painting. And when I got hired on there, he mentioned that he had some ideas for some paintings he would like me to do, and that was after he purchased a few of my paintings I had already created, pretty much the day that he brought me in to interview me. So the experience working for him from the get-go was pretty much strictly based on my artistic knowledge, and I used that to build from there. Not only my experience in the painting world, but I built my customer base. So this is the first commission that he requested of me. This is a picture of him and his fiancée, the moment that he proposed. I didn't really edit the reference photo too much. All I did was really bring that table with the flowers onto it. I brought that over more. The Eric Hart Ashley, I brought that over more a little bit. Everything else is pretty much kept original based on the reference, minus the misspelling of the word encourage. There's a funny story behind that. So in the reference photo that he provided to me, right above his head in the picture was where it was supposed to read encourage. However, in the picture it said e-courage, and I brought that up to him and I asked him, what he thinks we should do with it, if we should leave it, keep it to the original, or if we should fix it, because I could do that for him if he wanted me to. And originally he said he wanted it to stay the same. He wanted to keep it with the original. And then after I had sent him a progress pic of where I was at in the painting, he mentioned that the word was misspelled, and he asked if we could fix it. So I made the accommodation for him. Even though I had already gone through and I'd painted it, I went through and I painted over the whole background and covered up the word. Which is fine by me though too, because I'll tell you what, there was an internal dilemma when it came to me having to, I guess, be okay with there being a misspelled word on a finished product of mine that was just going to be hanging in somebody's house, you know. And unless Eric was there to fill them in on the little bit of a backstory as to why it was misspelled, then it would eternally be my negligence that led to there being a wrong word on the painting. So this kind of avoids any of that confusion, which is nice on my end. But either way, the finished product of this is, I think, one of my best pieces. I think the biggest compliment that I've gotten was from everybody saying that they would look at this and they didn't realize that they were looking at a picture of the painting. So that feels really good. I spent a very long time on his face. I think this is one of the first pieces where I understand where the term work of art comes from. Because when you're putting in 20, 30, 40 hours of work into one single piece, there's definitely some kind of a barrier, or there's some kind of emotional baggage that you have to overcome to make yourself get to a point where a painting like this is completed. I mean, if I had to guess alone how many hours I spent painting his face, I'd have to say at least 10 hours. And that area that I'm painting is no bigger than my hand. You know, maybe it's the size of my palm. So we'll say maybe 3 inches by 3 inches. I spent 10 hours on a 3 inch by 3 inch portion of this painting. So in a sense, like, there's not just the work going into the actual painting of it, but there's work getting yourself to a point where you're determined, or you're disciplined enough to put in that much time on a 3 inch by 3 inch square. As far as right now is concerned, I'm working on a second commission for him. This piece is 5.5 feet long by 3 feet tall. It's a picture that Eric took of the Peace Bridge. And I'm pursuing a rather impressionistic style of this piece in particular. And it's coming out really well too. Being that it's not a realism piece, I feel like I get to have a little bit more fun with it. And that's a big factor in keeping me in this state of mind where I'm like okay to paint things for other people. Commissions are tough. You know, it's a love-hate relationship. I love it because it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me moving forward and a direction of improving my art in ways that maybe I wouldn't think about doing on my own. It reinforces my capabilities, internally. I can look at something and I can say, yeah, I can paint that. The more painting that I do, the more I understand the process and what needs to happen in order for things to look the way that they do. I try to be open to learning. In art and in life, because life's been throwing some curveballs at me lately too. But that's never really been not the case. You gotta learn to expect them, I guess. And there we have it. If you stuck around to the end, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I had a lot of different feelings making this piece. I'm very proud of myself to say that I've completed it. And it opens doors for untold possibility. I hope you learned something from this video too. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But either way, again, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for following up. Comment, like, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And I'll see you again next week. Thanks.